Hello everyone, and today I'll be reading a Muichiro listener by me, so let's get into it. Muichiro has known you from his childhood, so no wonder he was more comfortable with you than anyone else. Sometimes, you would even get him to be quite talkative, which is something that nobody else ever saw. Regardless, with you, Muichiro felt like he was being his true self, like he was fully seen and fully loved, just as he loved you. And little did he know that your love for each other extended beyond being purely platonic. It was something far more, something much more complex and everlasting. That's not to say that platonic love was not, but the bond between you two was something akin to soulmates. And slowly, the love that was shared had developed from a more platonic friendly one to a romantic type of one, without either of you noticing until you were in far too deep and you had no way of being able to say these feelings clearly. And that's how, one day, so suddenly, he had come upon the realization when he saw you hanging out with someone else. And he found out that somewhere long ago, he may have given you his heart and everything, for his heart laid within your hands, and you couldn't ever bear to be away from you, not even for a short amount of time. You were simply far too precious for him, too, too close to his heart. And that's when he knew that one day, those feelings would be the end of him. It was protective of you, of course, not wanting you to be with him when he was working such a dangerous job and being a Hashira in the Demon Slayer Corps. But maybe there was a space for love too. He couldn't help his heart. He had no control over it. He could simply wish and hope that either those feelings go away in time, or that you share those dangerous feelings with him, and they are mutual. That your love is not something that he only feels, but something that is shared between you two. Something you can feel just as deeply and just as strongly. And so he hopes and hopes until one day he feels like he has no choice but to talk. There is no ignoring those feelings. There is no going away and leaving them behind. And looking into your eyes hurts when he knows there are so much things that he has to say that he's just been unable to. And so, today, he will tell you the truth. He had invited you to a garden, telling you will have a picnic, which is something you've been excited about. You wore your best outfit, trying to look beautiful, wanting to catch his attention, because little did he know, you loved him just as much, if not more. And you've been wanting to say the same thing as him for a long time now. The only thing that stopped you two from realizing this was the hesitation that held you both back, further than it should. And so, as the moon was up in the sky, the stars glowing above you too, you looked him in the eyes, opening your mouth to say a couple of words, when he opened his own to say the same. "Wyon, please, let me talk first," he said, and he paused, nodding. "All right, Muichiro, you can go ahead. If you're in such a hurry, I mean, whatever it is, it must be important. So tell me, what's going on?" "You see, it is simply that I have feelings that I've been wanting to talk about. Your heart could only beat faster in your chest. You could only hope that he was having the same feelings as you right now, because that is what you wanted and hoped for the most. You wanted him to love you, and to want to be there with you, in the same way that your heart has longed for. And so, when he takes your hand into his own and squeezes it, looking into your eyes, you could only blush. Well, I was just. I wanted to say that. I know we've known each other for years now, and we've grown together too. So, it may be a little bit too much for you, and if it is, then it's fine. In fact, just forget about it. But what I wanted to say is, I am in love with you, Ion. And I think I have been for a longer time than I have known. So, if you accept my feelings, I'll be grateful. It's the one thing that I want more than anything else in the world. And I'll appreciate it. But if not, then it's perfectly fine. He says. He seemed to be struggling with his way around the words and trying to choose the perfect ones. But it's not the best confession by any means. And yet, it's everything you needed to hear from those lips. Because you've been wanting him to say this. And you've been wanting to say those words yourself. Although, perhaps in a different way. In a simpler way. To say that, I love you, Muichiro. You find yourself saying those words before you can even think about it. And in the same breath, he says the same words in his own voice. And the two of you end up staring at one another for a couple of moments before both of you laugh and you wrap your arms around him, burying your face into his shoulder. The moonlit sky illuminates both of you in this moment that you've longed for, that your hearts were singing in, and you could only hope that your love and everything between you two lasts for a longer time. You've been wishing for this more than you could ever know. And right now, as you finally got what you've been wanting, you could only hope it lasts forever. And as he pulled away, he looked into your eyes and pulled you closer, this time kissing you slowly and gently in a way that you can tell that your love has been there for forever, longer than either of you knew.